What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist?
Yo. Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 70 of What's on the Playlist.
Nice.
My name is Chris Romero.
My name is Tony Pacheco.
And what's up, y'all? It's Victoria.
That's right. We are back, and we are three DJs out of Albuquerque, New Mexico with Cutmaster Music. And on this pod, we like to discuss our weekly events, and typically we will dive into weekly wedding industry playlist topics. But today, we're going to keep this one mainly focused on events that we've been doing and have been part of for the past few weeks, because we haven't been on in a minute.
And
We're just going to let some topics kind of evolve from...
We've done quite a few events between us three in these few weeks, so I think we have a lot to talk about. So
Definitely.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and hop right in. Let's just give it to them.
Let's go back. What are we? So we are... It's May 13th. Let's start with the first week in May.
Yeah, let's do it. That's perfect.
So I think that's perfect for us. Did you have anything that Friday?
That Friday, yes, I did. I was at Unhinged Brewery.
Nice.
We did
Where's
an
that?
event. It's on 98th, right off the highway.
Okay.
Super awesome venue. Really, really cool people out there. Really enjoyed hanging out with them. We did an event called Mood Swings, and basically it was like an open format, all genre type of vibe. So you never really knew what you were gonna get. It was kind of like hip hop. It was kind of house. It was kind of R&B. So we did that, and then on Saturday we drove out to Taos. We had a really, really cool wedding out there at El Monte
Sagrado.
Yep, that place was so incredible.
Crazy beautiful space.
Gorgeous. Like everything about it was so gorgeous. We had a really amazing time out there. Music was fun. Our couple was fun. We did really cool and different things out there. So yeah, that was the first weekend of May for me. Just
what stood out about that wedding mostly? Because that was your first time there?
Yeah, that was my first time there.
Yeah, what do you remember most about the venue?
You know, just really the ambiance, if that makes sense. Like everything about it was very well put together. And I want to credit the venue, of course, because I know they did what they had to do to make sure everything worked correctly, as well as our planner. Shout out to Carrie Osborne. And then our bride. Our bride was very particular on how she wanted the vibes to be, the music, every, little thing really had her touch on it at the wedding. From the dance floor to the disco balls to the decorations to the music I played. She was incredibly involved in the process.
Yeah, the pictures and videos that you showed, I mean,
looks cool.
The atmosphere looked awesome. So imagine florals over the dance floor, very green it looked like, and then with some mirror balls or disco balls mixed in with that, right? Created super cool.
It's a really cool aesthetic.
Instagram worthy,
Exactly. Yeah. And it was hanging right over like the center of the dance floor.
Yep. And the dance floor was checkered. So imagine a checkerboard dance floor. It looks super cool.
Yeah,
and then you were saying
greenery hanging. Yeah. Just really
and then there was like you said sofas that like lined the dance floor like around, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there was like two short sofas and then one long sofa on the opposite side of the dance floor, which I just thought was a really, really cool idea. What my bride had me do is when people were coming in from cocktail hour, I announced if everyone could please gather around the dance floor, and then this couches were reserved seating for family. So grandma sat, mom, dad.
They had front row.
Seating,
Yep, they had front row to their first dance, and then it was kind of cool because after we did first dances, we went into mother-son, father-daughter, and their parents got kind of called up, and they grabbed them off the couch, and it was just really gorgeous. Like, it was just amazing to have those couches there. And then towards the end of the night, it was really cool because I noticed people that were like all dancing, going crazy. They took a break, but they didn't go sit at the table. They sat on those couches and were still involved on the dance floor.
Still involved, still there.
Yep, still there.
Cool.
So it was really, really cool. And it was just different. I mean, the decorations, gorgeous. Everything they did. So the florist, her husband, is an engineer. So he actually built that cage to hold all the greenery that was hanging. He built that. So they just, everything about it was so detailed. It was just so awesome.
Nice.
I'm curious, what was the age of your couple, like, roughly?
They were, I believe, 30 and 31. So early 30s.
Like millennials.
Exactly, yeah. So music was really, really cool. They, had artists that they definitely didn't want played, but they gave me a really cool playlist of like kind of rockish towards the beginning of the night. And then they really liked EDM, some hip hop. So it was kind of, a mixture of a bunch of different music, but it worked well for them, if that makes sense.
That's
so.
what you want. I feel like a lot of couples these days are going to be like, well, we like this and that, and we're all over the place. And I'm like, yes, please, I welcome that.
That's even better.
Yeah, there's couples or there's guests out there, and there's a wide range of people in 150, 200 people, and not everybody likes the same type of music. So when you have the ability to have some range, that's a little bit easier on our end as far as the DJ to kind of experiment.
Yeah, and I really appreciate what they did as far as like that rock music goes. They played "The Boys Are Back in Town," like kind of some cool stuff like that. So they really catered to. I believe it was her dad that really liked that genre of music, classic rock kind of stuff,
punk vibes.
And then we went into that too. We went into like early 2000s pop punk, which absolutely crushed. We played Green Day, we played Fall Out Boy, we played Panic at the Disco, The Killers, all that stuff. Which they just had a good group. They had a good group. They knew their people, even down to aunts, uncles, dad. They really knew kind of what everybody would want, so they gave everybody a little taste. And then towards the end of the night, we played stuff that our bride really, really liked, which is that headbanging EDM.
Nice.
You're kind of just
bass
music at the rail kind of type stuff. So it was cool. It was all over the place in the best ways in terms of music.
I love it because you have all these different kind of I guess, what do you call it, like juxtaposing, elements that are in this wedding. And I think, and the reason why I asked what the age was, because I think this goes along with the trends that we talked about earlier this year, and that our couples are looking to create and curate unique experiences, right?
Yep.
And that's this is a perfect example of that. From all the way from the design and furniture to your music.
Exactly. Yeah, and like even just looking, I brought up the playlist that I had made of stuff, and just like Missy Elliott, Blink 182, The Killers, Juicy J, and then you come up.
This is the order you went?
Yeah, and just Blink 182, Beyonce, and then you go up and St. John remixes and Martin. How do you say his last name? No, the other one. You got me intoxicated.
Oh, Solveig?
Yeah. So stuff like that. And it was just really, really cool. And
that's fun.
What I try to do is just prep, do my homework, try to find, ways that I can transition into this stuff, because it was so all over the place. So, I try to find a lot of intro stuff that I could kind of, really mix in rather than dropping so much.
Yeah, that's the fun part. I thought of when like doing the prep is when they give me their set list, their playlist, and it's wedding week, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's dig. Ooh, I've got a good mashup of this. Ooh, I've got a good one here.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Let's see if we can find something, a remix of this or whatever, right? And we're digging through pools, finding SoundCloud remixes or whatever, and having those in your back pocket for when wedding day comes. My groom, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but he wanted John Cena, the John Cena intro. And I did a crazy remix. And it's funny how when you speed it up to 128, it starts at like 105. When you get up to that 128, it sounds just like a Latin horn.
Oh, yeah.
That's
and
so
so
cool.
I went into like danza or some kind of Latin after that. But that's where it's fun, where you get, I want John Cena's intro, and you're like, all right, let's make this fun, And so you give them the beginning, and then you go into a remix and all that. But that's always that I have a lot of fun.
And it was cool. I did crush the event. It was really, really fun, and I did where I knew I had strengths in. So when I was playing hip hop, I really went and tapped into making my mashups on the fly, giving them that experience when I was in that realm. And then when I was doing rock, kind of dropping it in or mixing it in with other stuff, and I really just wanted to give them that experience, even if it was just a little bit of it, right? So
everybody wants to sing, we're halfway there, right? Living on a prayer, Bon Jovi, everybody loves that. But I've also noticed nobody wants that full song. They want that moment, and then you just keep moving forward. But like, you're right. Like with a hip hop song, you have a little bit more kind of mashup, blendability, creativity.
Exactly.
And with those like rock songs, you can kind of come in on like outfield your love. Josie's on a vacation far away. Like
Exactly.
with nothing, it just boom, it hits, and then they start singing those lyrics. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's different ways. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
and this one was kind of cool too because they, well, not cool. How do I say this? They gave me like a huge do not playlist,
It's helpful.
but then had artists featured in songs on the
Oh,
do not playlist,
That is challenging.
which was kind of funny and challenging. So, here's some stuff off of the do not playlist that they gave me: No Journey, no Eagles, no AC/DC, no Rolling Stones, no Taylor Swift, no Ed Sheeran, no Bruno Mars, no Justin Timberlake, no Backstreet Boys, no Justin Bieber, and no country and no Kanye.
Okay.
But then had Fellas in Paris by Jay-Z and Kanye.
Ooh,
You know,
yeah,
some
yeah.
stuff like that.
That was on their list. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then like there was a song
That's funny.
on their list that "Give It to Me" by Timbaland
Yep.
that featured Justin Timberlake,
Yep.
right? So, just being kind of mindful of those things, and I was just, really checking that do not playlist,
Mhm.
just because I knew how particular my bride was.
Yeah.
She was the type
She'll
of
know.
bride that noticed every single little tiny detail.
Yeah, and this is
So-
where I think the planning process is very important, right?
Yeah.
And that you've got to have these conversations with your couples, because when you get somebody that's like that, it could be very easy to go off the rails, right? If,
Definitely.
because I think a lot of us DJs get into certain flows where you play the same things week in, week out, and
Definitely.
it becomes like autopilot. It's kind of like when you're driving your car and you don't realize how you got from destination A to
Yeah.
B, like you don't
You're
even
just going.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Your
just
road
ended-
trip for a while, you're like,
you
"Dang,
just
I
got
was-
there,
I've
right?
been driving for
Yeah.
an hour. Huh?
It's really easy to do that
Yeah.
DJing with music
makes
when
sense.
you do
Agreed.
stuff, and so you have to be mindful and this is where having those conversations with your couples allow you to. When I had the similar situation like a couple of months back with a couple that she was pretty particular as well, like didn't like Michael Jackson, but Jackson 5 was cool.
Yeah.
And so then when we got into the conversation and I realized that, then I went deeper. So sometimes your consults end up being a little bit longer, but it's for everybody's benefit,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Like, okay, let's talk more about the songs you don't like.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
and
like,
then
why do you not like them? What does it mean? And
Yeah.
right,
Definitely.
and then giving me the
Understanding.
stuff and being able to ask them, okay, well, is this okay? Because they might say, well, I only like some Taylor Swift
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, which ones? And then I can gather a list of things, right? So I don't know. You just have to be able to communicate, and that's what it comes down to.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I know, like, for me, usually I'm good with one planning meeting like the week of.
Yeah.
With these guys, like, I just really wanted to hit every single mark they wanted, so we ended up having 3,
Sure.
which I felt was more comfortable for me, and it was just a ton of communication.
Oh yeah.
Even just, when we weren't in meetings, me and the bride texting and making sure, we're doing everything that they want, and it
Yeah.
was just a
It's
ton of
the access
communication.
to you.
You
Yep.
have to
Is what
put.
they-
This is the problem with I think a lot of DJs is that we are very egotistical.
Yeah.
And it's my way or the highway types, and I hear this from the planners that we work with week in, week out, like of events like failing or bombing. And
Yep.
I think a lot of times that's what it comes down to most of the time is just ego and pride.
Like-
When if you would just put that aside and just like you did, you know what? Take 3 planning sessions
Yeah.
and really get down to it. Because when you start, maybe you go in and you start forming your crates, but you're like, I wonder, I forgot to ask these questions. Or if I ask these questions, I might get a little bit more information.
Exactly.
Let me give them a call instead of just trying to wing it. Where if you do that, it could really backfire
Yeah.
with
Yep.
a couple like that.
I'm a
Exactly.
big believer in like it's okay to look, I don't know, not stupid, but ask questions and ask every single question before
Yeah.
wedding day. Because if you're asking that same question on the wedding day, it's 10 times worse, whether it's like if you just asked it on that Monday.
Right.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask those questions if you are a DJ. And yeah, I think you have to drop your ego at the door.
Yeah.
Not necessarily your music interests, but like it's their day and making sure that
Yeah,
that
and you
is at
could
the forefront.
still like with this couple, we talked about that a lot. Like
That's why they pick us.
exactly,
You know what I mean?
they hired me for a reason,
Exactly.
and they kind of spoke about that in our meetings and stuff. Like, yes, we know we have like a list of things that we want, but of course we want you to add these in. So that's where I come in and do my homework. Right? I'm
Yes.
really looking at what's on this list, and I'm like, okay, well, what if we add this and add that and do this here, and it just takes a ton of prep, and I think think what you said is right, Chris. I think a lot of DJs aren't even willing to do that prep because of their own egos.
Yeah.
And I think if you do, that's where honestly you can get creative, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, and they honestly
you could do it at a nice slow pace.
Yeah.
Mess around with it.
and most couples want that. So I don't think, at least I would say 99% of our couples, they want they enjoy the element of surprise as well.
Yeah.
They want something. They want to hear something that they didn't even think that they knew that they wanted. If that makes sense.
No, I saw.
Right?
Did you
Absolutely.
see that Diplo clip?
No, I
Diplo
didn't.
was on a pod, and he said, "Good DJs play great tracks for everybody. Excellent DJs play music you didn't even think you knew you wanted.
Exactly.
They play those songs that hit and you didn't even realize you wanted it."
Exactly. And this is like things too, like just from learning from my other weddings and stuff, like that worked with this one. Like for example, their last song was Chaperones. Was it Good Luck, Babe? I don't
Good
know.
Luck,
One
Pink
of the
Pony or
it was
Hot
Pink
to
Pony.
Go.
It was Pink Pony.
Yeah.
But didn't ask for any other chapel throughout the night. And I'm like, well, Hot to Go is a banger, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted Britney Spears. And I had done this mashup
Mm-hmm.
at another wedding where I kind of let Hot to Go play out. And then I start transitioning into Toxic by Britney Spears.
Cool.
Loved it. And it's like you're saying, they want that element of surprise. And you start like, I feel like once you start doing things like that, they start warming up to your craft even more.
Right.
They're like, oh, this is incredible.
They trust
right?
you.
Yeah,
They
they're
trust
like,
you.
okay, they get it. Good, we can
Exactly.
dance.
Exactly. Yeah, we can breathe. Yeah. So
Well, and once you break that barrier, right, where you have their trust, in all honesty,
little
you
easier.
can. It makes it a lot easier because you might go into stuff that even maybe it isn't their favorite and they don't care about per se. Like if you had asked them a week before, do you like this track? And they might tell you no. But because you earned the trust and you broke the barrier,
Yep.
now the night of, you played that song.
They're a little like
They
deal
enjoyed
with
it
a little bit more. Yeah,
There's a vibe.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the vibe, not
So true.
the actual track,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And then I think they don't like, I see this with a lot of couples as well. Like they don't say Bruno, for example. They don't like Bruno specifically, but then they see how the crowd reacts to Bruno
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, why didn't we not think of this? And it's kind of like, well, sometimes too, you got to take your guests into consideration because
Yes.
like, I know I'm the same way. Like, I know I don't like specific artists, but then it's like, well, I know like probably 20, 15, 50 people at this wedding probably do like him.
Right.
Right. So it kind of, you got to kind of take those things into consideration. And I mean, we did know Bruno, you know, I was very, very strict on her do not playlist.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I just really stayed away from all that. But I've seen it before happen where it's like, they say no requests and then they make an accommodation for somebody and
Yeah.
it's something on their do not playlist and then they
then
see
it
how
hits.
well it hit and
Yeah.
it's like, oh shoot.
I
like,
just had that conversation with my couple for their wedding this weekend
Mhm.
because, you know, he's pretty adamant about No Country, the groom. And so I always just tell him, like, look, that night, anything you two want goes. Like, I don't treat your guests that way. Like, I'm never going to kill your party for a guest request.
yeah.
But if you are in the moment and you feel and you just need to get and you want to hear Boot Scoot and Boogie, even though we talked about no play, of course I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're out there enjoying life, your guests at your party are going to enjoy life as well. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. So
Exactly.
night of, you might change your mind and just really need to get the chicken out of you and do the chicken dance.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even though you told
Yeah.
me, we hate
Hate
that.
Yeah.
You know what? Just things happen to people the night of a wedding. You start drinking, you
Yep.
start talking with your friends and having fun and make a joke about it, and all of a sudden you're wobbling when you told me absolutely
Yeah.
don't
No,
play
absolutely.
it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it absolutely happens. And I think we just see it from time to time just from doing so many events and stuff. Just things happen. And that also is where hiring great DJs comes in because you have to have that adaptability.
Yes.
Like
Be able to read the crowd, pivot
Yep,
if need be, because you can go in with
exactly.
the greatest plan in the world, and then you have to change up 20
Yeah, and you're like,
minutes in.
oh, cool. I got 150,
I'm ready,
200 songs.
right?
I'm ready for the whole night. None of it works.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, being able to switch it up, change things out.
Yeah, look at people, read them, and
Yup.
be like, okay, these people probably like this style of music, or just
Exactly.
you know, willing to take that risk of throwing a genre out there and seeing what
Exactly.
hits. And
Yeah. Yeah.
because we've done it time and time again, where we'll DJ certain styles of music for certain crowds, and I think it's important to recognize that and have the confidence to
Yeah.
spin out,
Absolutely.
go into something else.
Y-
We'll get
yep.
there.
Yep.
You know, so but yeah, I love
Nice.
where you were at in like thinking about your guests. I think that's so important. Yes, your music should be at the forefront, but also considering
Definitely.
them as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Yeah, well, you got to have goals for your event, right? And what is it that you want to accomplish? Most of the people that come to us, I hear a common theme. We want everybody to party and have a great time.
Yep.
All right, and there's a million ways to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's where we gather information from you. As we give you our planning app, and we're gonna dive into your musical tastes, and
Yes.
that's how we do it as DJs, right? Like we provide this unique soundtrack for your big day, and we at the end of the day, I want your guests and your party. We want them to have a great time. Like
Yeah.
how we do that this week is going to be completely different from next week or the week before.
It's true.
Because just different crowds are different, right? That's why I love weddings, in all honesty. Like I miss like the nightlife days when I used to play the club, and it's so different, right? Because I knew I was going to play hip hop on this night.
Yeah.
Or I was DJing tropical Latin. I was playing salsa night. Like that's all we're playing, right? But with the wedding, I don't ever know which way I'm going to go, and that's what I
Definitely.
love about it. It's
fun.
like and we can go different directions. I can play like 5 to 10 different genres in a night at a wedding.
Yep.
Where nightlife, really, you can literally go to a nightclub and just hear 128 all BPMs
Yeah.
All night. Yep.
long, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're in a unique space. It's
And it's
fun.
great, for people like us who want to be challenged in what we do and want to show off our musical abilities and talents. It's really incredible when you get a couple like this that really challenge you to push the envelope
Yeah. Well,
in what they're doing, and it's kind of like, okay, cool, like, yeah, I can do this, I can mix any music, and it really helps for future couples too, like when their style's different. It's like, well, I did a wedding and I mixed a bunch of classic rock, pop punk, hip hop, blah 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 blah, and they're like, oh
great.
damn, okay, cool, yeah.
Because they'll come and be like, we don't know. Can you do this?
Exactly.
You're like, actually, I did a wedding that was exactly like this, and it was perfect.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
So, it's good to have that experience and just be able to have different options available as a DJ, and that just comes with experience. But what I think what was cool is you were talking about that this guest count was 60 people.
60 people.
That's
Yep.
even harder.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we can DJ for a crowd of 500 people all day. That's easy.
Exactly. Yeah, 60.
60 people, you're really
Yeah.
dialing in on a certain group of people, and if you're not going to hit, they're going to leave, or there's momentum, there's potential to be lost and all that. So that's good. I think it's even better that you played for a smaller crowd, because then you're reading them right. And
Exactly.
That's a good DJ comp.
Yeah, and it really helped too. So everybody that came down for this wedding came from either the East Coast or Texas or whatever. We had
It's a
no
destination wedding.
We had no New Mexican locals at all. So it really was just
Really
like
helps.
they all came for this event and they're all staying for this event. They're not going anywhere else.
Yeah.
They have no other obligations. They traveled all the way to Taos, New Mexico for this wedding, and that is it.
Yeah, that's a good sign, an indicator when you have destination weddings for that exact reason.
Yep.
They're coming for this event, and so they
Yeah.
don't have anything else to do.
Exactly, yeah.
So
Yeah, and it was just cool, the couch thing, it really encouraged people to stick around and hang out, even if they were tired, and just kind of lounge around. And they had like little stuff on, they had like little end tables by the couches with just like gifts, and they did like a deck of cards that had like their initials and stuff on them. So,
nice.
it was just really, really cool on how they did everything.
Little
things.
details.
Yeah, it was really, really
Very
great.
nice.
Yeah.
nice.
Okay, so then let's move on to our prom.
Oh,
was
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Well, actually, let's go before prom.
Oh, what we got before prom?
Because I did an event which was super cool. Actually, 2 days before our prom.
Nice.
Which was the opening of the new Flix Brewhouse.
Oh, that's right,
in
yeah.
the Heights.
Okay, yeah.
So, that was fun. They actually contacted me the week before
Oh, wow.
opening, and that came to me from a previous bride, Crystal. She was awesome. First of all, her wedding was awesome, and we had such a good time. I remember it was it might have been the last wedding that we did at the Natural History Museum.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
So that was super fun, and she thought of us for this event. She reaches out, "Hey, Chris, we're going to be doing this opening at the Flix Brewhouse. I think you'd be perfect for it." Long story short, they hire me for it, and it was super fun. This is another one of those unique events where it was just for the VIPs. It was like a soft opening, right? For the mayor was there. There's like all kinds of influencers and people that are just,
nice.
I guess, like I said, the VIPs kind of Albuquerque.
Nice.
I love that.
And so they were there. But what was cool for me was that I curated a a playlist of songs that were kind of like basically your iconic movie soundtrack songs,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
So and then I had my video DJ booth that played the video clips of a lot of those
Oh, nice.
movies.
Yeah.
And so people really enjoyed that. Like they liked and I was doing crazy stuff like Karate Kid, right? You know, like
Nice.
you're the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
You're the best around.
Mhm.
And whatever, Top Gun, a lot of that. But then a lot of the newer soundtracks to like Barbie,
Yeah.
Barbie Girl
Dope.
and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Some of that stuff. So it was just fun. The vibe was cool. They hooked me up, with like a little gift package,
Nice.
and the
That's
food.
exciting.
I'd never been. I haven't been to the Flix Brewhouse on the west side.
It's all right. I'm not a big. I think I've told you I'm not a dinner movie.
Dinner movie kind of
It's
person.
disruptive. We did The Grinch for Christmas, and it was a great experience.
That's
but
cool. Yeah.
I had seen the movie. It was a dining movie experience, and I didn't mind that. But like,
Yeah.
we went to go see Thunderbolts. I don't need distraction. I just want to watch the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, that's fair.
I like being in a theater. I like the theater experience. But yeah, and then drinking a beer just makes me sleepy. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
for
did.
sure.
Well, and they offered me drinks that night, but because of my health stuff, I haven't been drinking, so I didn't
It's
get
a
to
cool
try the
brew
beer.
house.
Yeah, but they brew their own stuff.
cool.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
It's a fun experience.
They hooked us up with a bunch of tickets, so I'm gonna go
Nice.
check it out. And,
Yeah.
I'll report back on it and see. I'm
enjoy
just
it.
not in general a big movie person like
Okay.
myself.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair. That's fair.
I just don't watch like a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go check it out. Like, I mean, the food was. I'll tell you this: the food was good that they sent me home with.
It's a restaurant as well.
Yeah.
So they
Yep.
have a full blown restaurant in there. So the dining experience, the food is on point.
I had the pizza. They sent me home with some pizza. That was
Nice,
good.
you know.
There was a couple sandwiches that I gave to Jonas, and he wolfed those down, so I didn't get to try it. But everything about that event was super fun. Was awesome.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's just like I love that we get hit up for all these different random
Exactly,
things that are
yeah.
like they need good DJs and they know who to come to. So.
I got to work with Ryan of
Smith?
Jackie Tony, and Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah. So he actually did like all the emceeing. Super cool dude. I think it
Oh,
was his
that's fun.
daughter that was with him.
Yeah.
And she was loving like the videos on the TV screen and stuff and like some of the mashups I was playing
Nice.
and things. And like
Cool.
that dude was awesome. That was the first time I had met him and worked with him. It was great. He was super cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, that's super cool. Well, and it just like what we're talking about, like we know what we can do as far as DJing and executing an event like that where you're playing movie
Yeah.
music,
They didn't.
music,
Did they talk to you
soundtrack
about
stuff.
that, or did they say we just need a DJ?
So we talked a little bit about that and what they wanted. Not Crystal, but another person that was involved there. We talked about the music, and she really was just about creating a quote unquote vibe, which I think is like
That's the new
that's just
thing.
the trigger word right now,
Yeah,
right?
I just want it
Like,
to be a vibe.
We want to
What does
create a
that
vibe.
mean? It could mean so many
Yeah,
different
But she
things.
Yeah.
did mention, but I'd like to have. She said some movie soundtrack
Makes
songs.
sense.
Well, then I started creating
with
a
it.
crate, and I ran with it, and I was like, you know what? I think I can do this whole thing with nothing but
Mhm.
like iconic movie songs because it wasn't that long. It was only like I think what was it, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and this was one like it's cool to mix in and out, and I did a little bit, but in all honesty, I didn't really need to do that.
When
Like
when you're feeding the
Mhm.
vibe, you're not being paid attention to as much. Like
Yes.
Right.
they're not asking
no,
you to
you're kind of like
dance,
radio DJ,
you're
right?
Feeding
Yeah.
the vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
And I could let stuff run. So like, and then I had like remixes or mashups of like, Wayne. It was like the Wayne's World with Bohemian Rhapsody,
Oh,
right?
yeah, nice. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
yeah.
And things that
Oh,
were
Like
it
Ghostbusters
It
or
shortened the
Thriller
songs.
or whatever,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Like it's fun to do events like that where I don't when was the last time I played like Danger Zone Highway, Danger
Exactly.
Zone or Karate
True.
Kid.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't ever
Yeah.
play that stuff.
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Being not a movie guy, are you going to see the new Karate Kid?
I probably will. I don't know if I'll see it at the movies.
That's fair.
It's
Machio and Jackie Chan.
I know.
He's teaching this new kid Miyagi. It's
Yeah.
It looks
So
pretty
I've
cool.
seen
That's
I've seen
cool.
everything with Karate Kid. So
I haven't.
I
seen,
will
I don't
see
watch,
it.
I don't watch Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. I heard that's
You haven't
I
seen
hear-
Cobra Kai?
No, I hear it's good.
Oh.
Random I was curious.
I'm sorry, you guys. We have to end this.
We have to stop.
We have to end
I
the
have
podcast.
to go watch. I think
You
we
have-
did this last time. We had to stop the
Yeah.
pod because I had to see Karate
This
Kid
is
because I hadn't seen
I
it.
apologize. I apologize to all of our viewers out there. Tony, you leave this room right now,
I
and
gotta
you don't
exit
come back until you've
Until
seen
I've seen, what is it, like 6 seasons now?
Yeah.
Cobra
yeah.
Kai.
I hear it's good, though.
It is so good. It was awesome.
Nice. Okay, so we
Yeah.
did Thursday Flix, now Prom. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
So
Prom.
let's
This-
talk about
this-
prom.
this was
we went.
crazy.
Tony and I went to prom.
We went to Prom.
Yeah. We didn't take a prom pic.
We did not take a prom pic. We should have all taken
We should have taken a prom pic where
Oh, yeah.
we're holding
the
each other.
hips.
That-
That would have
Yeah,
been
you
funny.
all
to
should
the
have
right.
held each other just in
In
one
line?
In
That would've
line.
been funny.
Oh,
That would have been perfect.
we need to go back. We're-
We need to go.
But yeah, this was for Los Alamos.
Los Alamos High School. They,
Right.
oh,
How did they
so
just
this
hit
is
us up or what?
So this is an interesting, and actually
they
this
find us?
this is a little bit of we might get into some business here, or just that's kind of we're going to start there with the business side of things. So they contacted us,
Yep.
they reached out, and basically told us that they had a DJ in the past, or DJs. It was plural, and just that the kids didn't really enjoy.
A lot of it is the same story we hear every time when we have schools reaching out to
Yep.
us. Is they've had a DJ, the experience wasn't as good as we'd hoped. We're hoping we can create
Create
something
it.
new
Right.
with you.
And so immediately, and I'll just I'm putting this out there just straight up. We don't do a lot of high school dances anymore, and the reason why the number one reason is strictly cost. It's price, and that they don't typically tend to have the budgets that are at our price range, and then the reverse. It really most dances don't make sense for us to do
Yep.
because we can do a wedding.
Or
And-
3 of us can do 3 weddings on that same Saturday.
Exactly.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. Because it takes number one a crew.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of us for a high school dance, and we can do a one wedding in just one wedding, and probably make double in most cases the cost of what one high school dance is.
Yep.
And I'm home if I'm doing a Los Poblanos wedding. I'm home by midnight,
Right.
like
Yeah.
in my bed asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in a high school dance, to do it right, that's the only way our company works is to do things right and to do it correct. And for how big is this ballroom that we're in? I mean, it's the
Ballroom's
most
huge.
gigantic ballroom. It was at Buffalo Thunder, their largest ballroom, the entire
Yeah,
space.
high ceilings.
Damn.
Big.
And so to do it right, you need a lot of sound, you need a lot of lighting, you need a
Yeah.
lot of trussing. And that's the only way I'll do it, because if we skimp down and we don't bring enough sound, well, our DJs are just going to push it to the max, and that's where you blow out speakers. It sounds like crap.
You got the staff asking you, "Can you turn it up?"
Yep,
And you're
yep.
like clipping on all these
Yep,
levels,
yep.
and that's just not the way to do it.
So we don't tend to do a lot of high school dances. So they came to us, and immediately I asked what their budget is, and they told me, well, last year we paid $500 for our DJ. And immediately I was like,
That's when it's just that's an orange flag, red
Yeah.
flag, right? Because
Yeah.
that tells you, well, we're not even going to come close.
Close.
I told them
Yeah.
we're not even in the ballpark,
Yeah.
And so then, she asked us, well, can you get to this price? And I'm not going to say any prices out there, but I'll just tell you that, she asked about a certain price point, and I was like, And so,
That's funny.
but I was like, but you know what? Let's keep talking. Let's keep the conversation going, and
Yeah.
let me see what you guys are looking for, and let's just see what we can do. So, long story short, I found out that they were using a different company for the photo booth. They were using a different company to bring in their lighting outside of the DJ company.
Yeah.
Then they were using a different company for this and for that, and I started to learn a little bit more about what they were doing for previous dances. And so I was able to present a package to them that got rid of all of those other companies and just you can do it all through us, and I can give you this bundle package, right? And so, long story short, that's what we did. We ended up giving them 2 photo booths, where before they only had 1 photo
They
booth.
ended up
Yep.
saving money
Yeah.
bundling with us.
They
Yeah.
bundled with us. They saved money. We were able to give them an amazing sound package. And I mean, we used our brand new line array
we had to turn
system.
it down.
Yeah,
They were like,
yeah.
"It's too much."
6
Can you
subs.
turn it down?
We were rattling this
I
place.
love that.
It was funny.
was pounding.
There was a moment where Joe he was doing his hour set, and we would look up and just hear the ceiling rattle. and I was like, "Is that us?" And
Yeah.
so, oh yeah, that's us.
I love
it's
that.
okay. And I was like, "All right," but then they ultimately had us turn it down just a little. But
But that's the fact that you even have the system to do so.
yeah, well, we
rather
wanted,
than
we wanted
like
these kids
Well,
to
yeah,
feel
rather
like
than
a
a skimp.
concert.
Yeah.
not
So
just
that's the other thing
Yeah.
is that so when I'm talking with their planner, or coordinator, whoever it is, the sponsor, and I told her the system that we're going to be bringing in alone it's going to blow away anything any other mobile DJ is probably using.
1000%.
And unless you bring in a larger production company like a Quick Beam or some of these other big gigantic companies, you're not going to be able to get that because that's not the gear that mobile DJs buy. They
Yep.
buy little tiny speakers. In fact, I just saw recently, I'm not going to put names out there, but I saw a local DJ that put speakers up for an event, and they put, two like kind of sub stacks with like two speakers on poles with speakers there, and then another different type of speaker next to that. And I'm looking at this system that they set up, and I guarantee you it sounded probably loud, but it's the wrong way.
Yeah.
Do not put 2-point, what do they call those speakers? They're not arrays. They're trying to make them act like arrays, but they're not. They're point. They're point
standalone, I
speaker.
guess?
There's a name. It's point. It's going to drive me nuts now. But anyways, you get what's called filter combing by not using the
Yeah.
correct speaker, by not using arrays when they're two speakers next to each other. Filter combing is basically where your sound crosses over and it cancels each other out. So it sounds like crap. In fact, it
just sounds like noise.
yeah, a point source system.
Source. There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah. So a point source system, which is what most DJs use. So in all honesty, that DJ doesn't probably know, but had you just used one speaker on each side, it would have probably sounded better. But he tried to put two of those speakers side by side on this side of the stage and then over here on this side of the stage. And what he was probably doing was causing
Just so much audio crossing
Yeah,
with each other.
yeah.
It
you're causing the sound to basically subtract each other, right?
Yeah.
Like
it cancels each other
it's
out.
cancellation.
Cancellation,
That's
yeah.
what it's noise cancellation. So these are the things, right? That most mobile DJs, I hate to say it, most of them they don't know.
Well, there's a science behind all of this audio
Yeah.
setup and how like sound disbursement works. And if you're
Yep.
not thinking about that, it's such.
Most of them don't know. They just don't care. They
I
just
didn't
think
know
sound
until
is sound.
I went to education and learned about it, right?
Yeah,
But like, yeah, a
exactly.
lot of these guys just think, oh, I'll plug in more.
Yeah.
More sound, more
They
speakers.
think
Yes,
more
sure.
equals
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And in all honesty,
Well-
the sound is one of the few places where more equals way less. In
Yeah.
fact, more can equal zero.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird how that works because
Yeah.
you're thinking like, look at all these speakers I have. Why isn't it sounding good?
Well, and I'll bet you. So what's weird is that and I know I'm getting techie here, but subwoofers actually more is more. Like when you put two subs and subwoofer low frequency sound side by side, you actually get a +3 decibel increase. So in that with subs, it works.
That makes sense.
But with your highs,
It
it's
doesn't
noise
work.
canceling. And that's why you've got dispersion, right? Like,
Yeah.
and when
That's why you see a line array that goes like that. It's
Exactly,
curved, not
curved,
just
yeah,
shooting
curving.
straight.
Yep.
There's a
Exactly.
reason.
well, and line array speakers are designed differently. They're
Exactly.
actually designed to work in pairs.
yeah.
Yep.
And so,
So they're not throwing in the same direction.
what-
Exactly.
yeah, and they just all work together. There's
Yeah.
there's DSP processing and all that stuff that it makes multiple speakers act as one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you put regular speakers next to each other, they don't act as one together.
Talk
In
to
fact,
each
they
other,
act
yeah.
as different, and they clash with each other.
Yes. Yeah.
So, anyways, long story short, there,
It sounded good. For
it
the
sounded
Yeah.
so amazing, and we told them this during the process. And this is what you're paying for. Like, it's not going to sound like anything that your school has ever had.
No.
It's not going to look like anything. The lighting is all going to be custom, tailor made. Like all of this
Yep.
stuff, right? And we sold them on that, and they were super excited that night. They walked into that room.
Loved it.
They heard it, they saw it,
Mhm.
and they were just like, wow.
Yeah.
And I could feel that with the kids on the dance floor. And how I know that it was like just an experience that they had never had before. Number one, so we took Jonas, my son. He was one of the photo booth
I felt
attendants.
bad because he's a senior in high school.
He's a senior in high school. And long story short, like I never got the opportunity to do any of his school dances.
Yeah.
They reached out a few times to us. We were already booked. It never worked out. And so poor dude, I don't know who DJ'd Sandia High School's dances in the
But
past.
you had a nice little Ian, I don't know what the word is, but like a spy kind of.
Oh,
right.
Not a spy, but
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
but
Somebody
they all-
got it in.
So,
I don't know.
all of his dances, they always left early, and he
Yeah.
would always come home. Dad, the DJ, it wasn't good. Didn't play, all the kind of the normal stuff. So I asked him that night. I was like, "Did you any of your dances was it anything?" He was like, "Oh my God, they were not even close to this." Like,
Yeah.
and so yeah, you could just see
Yep.
he was
Yeah,
sad.
he's all setting it up.
right.
Yeah.
Another senior's prom.
He's
The-
like,
I'm-
damn.
So, but I'll throw this out. He got a phone number that night. I didn't
Nice.
find out till he got home later.
Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah, one of the girls asked him to type it. He's like, I think I
Way
may
to
have given her the
be.
wrong number though. Like,
Dang it, Jonas.
I know, like Jonas, dude.
That's funny.
good.
Like,
That's good.
he said he punched in like one of the numbers he thought wrong or something. But anyways,
Too
but
funny.
yeah, so
Oh, I mean, it was a good event. I thought we did a really good job as far as like for the first dinner hour. Me
Yeah.
and Joe did 30 minutes, very vibey kind of things, and then he did the first hour. I did the next hour, and then we did a back-to-back set.
Sick.
It was fun. It was a
Yeah.
really
we
cool.
had a speaker out in the hallway.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
all the music could be heard throughout the whole space,
And
it
I
was-
just threw that in. They didn't even ask for that.
Yeah.
Like
that was nice because they had doors open an hour earlier, and so when we were, it's so nice to have music just to feed an environment. So
Definitely.
when you have some nice music while they're taking
You're
photos,
creating the vibe.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you're walking in and there's music playing. It's
Yep.
so different from when you walk into a space and there's nothing.
There's nothing. It's
Yeah,
just
you're
like
just like-
awkward silence.
Yeah, so I thought that was really helpful, and yeah, it was just an overall really good event. We're out of there at like 2:00 or home at like 2 a.m.
that was so. This
Yeah.
is the things that we talk about, right? Like, and why the school dances are hard. They're just
Oh, it's
harder.
quite the setup.
I need
Yeah.
I need way more equipment.
We were there all day.
I need
Yeah.
more help, more staff. So and this was in Santa Fe at Buffalo Thunder,
Yeah.
and we left the office at 11:30.
Yep.
Got there at 12:30 to set up,
Damn.
and this is to start at 6:00. So and we were up to the basically at the last minute,
Yep.
like getting things tweaked and lighting and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. Tony had gone and got us food. I honestly didn't even start eating my food until like they had opened the
So
doors
sorry,
outside.
the tacos are cold.
Yeah, and that's the way it is, right?
Yep.
And so then we did the event.
It's life.
Yep.
The event went from 6:00 until 11,
Mhm.
and then teardown took us 2 hours. So 1:00, we have to drive an
I thought we
hour
were moving
back
fast,
to Albuquerque.
Too. I thought we
know,
were moving fast.
and we weren't out of there until 1, and then we got home at 2:00.
Unload. You gotta.
To un-
Well, we had, I had unloaded my car. Luckily, your trailer, you just park it in the garage.
Yeah, but we had
Yeah.
some stuff in the back of my car
Yep.
too, subs
Exactly,
and stuff
yeah.
we had to take out. I wasn't in bed until 2:30,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it was brutal. And I'm trashed on Sunday the next
That's
day. you know.
that's a doozy.
Yeah. But it was fun, we hadn't done a school dance in a minute. You guys, I like kudos to Tony said. We had Tony and Joe. We gave them 2 DJs that night.
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the park. We took Raven, who's a brand new
She
light
crushed the
tech and
lights.
assistant with us
Sick.
for her first time on the lights.
Yeah.
And getting used to our gear and equipment.
I always
she was
just
awesome.
I geek out when somebody reads my mind
Yeah.
and I say I want a strobe in my mind, and then it happens, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
you read my mind.
I love that.
But she does a really good job. She helped me out at my wedding this past weekend too.
Nice. Okay.
She's just very in on lighting. And
Yeah,
so,
that's
so-
her.
Oh
That's
yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
thing. So
helpful.
the prom was good.
Yeah,
maybe
good
we'll
prom.
get invited back to prom. We can take our picture next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or homecoming, hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Probably. I mean, it's October. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
September
always
and
a big
October.
problem for us is
We're
these
already booked.
proms,
Exactly.
and they don't book them out until like a month or 2 in
Yep.
advance. And
Yep.
We've been booked for a
Exactly.
while.
They got Los Alamos got super lucky. That was the only weekend that we had available.
And that'll happen from time to time.
Exactly.
And yeah, just because typically it's wedding season.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so that's
Yeah.
why we don't ever do the homecomings, is because it's September and October.
Yep.
It's homecoming season, and that's our most popular weddings. And we're already booked for all of September and
Oh, yeah.
October of this
Yep.
year.
Been booked. Yeah.
So-
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
And they
that's
haven't
why-
even started thinking about their
No.
homecoming.
No.
And that's why I tell them all the date is the biggest thing. Please, as soon as you know the date, let me know because
Yeah.
I'm down. But they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So,
So,
but yeah, it was fun. It was a good event.
Nice.
Cool,
So
cool.
then
Still
I had
recovering.
I had a wedding the next day after that.
that's right.
That prom on May the 4th. So it was cool. It was all right. It had its challenges. It was
And you were back up at Santa Fe.
Yeah,
Damn.
I wanted to get a hotel, but I thought, you know what, it's fine. I'll drive. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it was good. What I did is I basically prepared everything that week. So
Smart.
then that way Sunday I just showed up, got it all ready, and it was a lot easier.
Yeah.
But it was fun because it was May the 4th, so it was
that's
Star
right.
Wars themed. He walked down to
That's so cool.
Dan, the Imperial March.
Yeah.
And then the Flower Girl bouquet, or Flower Girl ring bearer came down to the Star Wars theme. I surprised him with a bunch of like during dinner I played Tina Cantina.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Dun,
dun,
dun. So
dun,
then they would be like,
Yeah,
hey.
that's cool.
And then I played a couple Star Wars remixes. I have those glow tubes
Mhm.
Yeah.
that are identical to lightsabers.
Yep.
I was wondering
I was
what
like,
you used for
bro.
the pictures.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was
Yeah.
like, I got you. These are just sitting in my office. I'm bringing them. We'll
Nice.
put all 8 out. I'll put them on blue. We'll put them on red. And they did he dipped her, kissed her, and they're all like knighting.
Oh, that's sick.
So it was a fun
Yeah,
little thing.
okay.
I'm a massive Star Wars guy myself, so I was
Yeah.
nerding out over all of it. They had a photo booth station with all these different standees, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, Yoda, so you could take pictures with
Oh,
all of the
that's
Star Wars
cool.
characters.
I love that.
Very good day. We had to move the ceremony because it was raining, so that
Yep.
was unfortunate. But
Ooh.
shout out to David and the team at La Fonda.
Yeah.
That's such a hard call to make
Oh, yep.
because you can make that call and be wrong. And
Yeah.
for that 30-minute window, they could have done it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But no, it dumped the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like,
Man, I'm one of those if there's a chance, I'm just like, please, just rain, just dump, pour
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
like
do it
now, so
now.
we can just
it
make
helps
the
it
call,
be more
right?
definitive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it was like coming into the day, they were like, nope, ceremony's outside.
Yeah.
Ceremony's
Well,
outside.
and
I'm like,
They
"Oh."
all want it to. That's what they want. They want it to be outside, and so most couples
Yeah.
are willing to sacrifice.
Sacrifice it. Yeah.
But what a lot don't understand is like when at least, and it's fine as long as you're willing to not have music or
Exactly.
microphones,
Mhm.
because guess what? Electronics and
Water,
water just
yep.
don't play nice together,
Yeah.
Don't
and
agree.
we won't. We're not going to do it.
And that's the hardest part is it's like not even like, oh, it's dumping, I have to call it. It's the slightest
Slightest
bit.
bit,
Like the
yeah.
little bit of rain or any kind of
Yeah.
precipitation, I'm like, nope, I'm so sorry I have to call it. Like it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then when you have thousands of dollars of gear out there just waiting
Yeah.
to get poured on, that's like
Can't risk that.
you do not want
No.
to risk
I'm
that.
not trying to have my stuff ruined
Exactly.
or get
That or electric.
myself.
Exactly.
It's safety. It's
Safety,
It's
yep.
all of that.
It's a hard
Yep.
so
Yeah, that's hard to
it's
do.
tough. It's
So what time did you go to on that event?
we only went till 10, so that
Okay,
was nice.
cool.
So it was a Sunday event. There was only 50, 60 people.
Yeah.
And I was proud of this one because I think I was telling you guys earlier, the bride's sister was like, good luck. We don't dance.
Yeah.
Nobody dances. And even the couple, they didn't strike me as full-blown partiers,
Yeah.
especially having your wedding on a Sunday, no holiday after. Like there was a couple
Exactly.
factors. And so I was like, okay, like that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll read the crowd and we'll see what they respond to. And there was a lot of 70s disco, 80s classic rock,
Yeah.
and a little bit of Backstreet Boys, wannabe Spice Girls,
Yeah.
and I played a couple Star Wars remixes. I was proud because that dance floor was never empty. There were a couple times where it was unique. It looked a little like you're
Mhm.
playing your Mambo number 5s, and
Yeah.
hey, it got him out there.
Yeah.
and
Whatever.
Whatever works.
What works?
It hit
Yeah.
it hit on every level, and I was proud that like I was saying, it's harder to DJ for those.
And then when you have somebody telling you that that's how it's already gonna
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
you're
Did
kinda
you
like
did you look
putting-
her in the face and then go?
Got him!
No, I was a little scared because I was like, hey,
That would give me anxiety. Like I
was
know
like,
I would
okay,
be anxious about that.
Okay, well we're prepped. I've got a lot of good open dance
Yeah.
songs. He did a good job at giving me the music that they had wanted. She was a delight. She was such a fun, positive ray of sunshine the whole day.
Yeah.
You couldn't have told. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
good.
wouldn't have told or wouldn't have known that it rained on their day, but like her energy was infectious. So like
Yeah.
she was getting people. Even the groom was like,
You know what?
Yeah.
And
there.
honestly,
Yeah.
that's
And
all it takes, right?
Yeah, that's all
And
you
that's
need.
all you need. If you got a couple that is just like grabbing people and wants to be out there and stuff, it radiates.
It radiates. Yeah.
Well, it was funny
I agree.
because like he was there and like kind of dancing and he's fine. But then I played the Star Wars remix and he would like turn to me and be like,
Yeah.
My dog.
yeah.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
that was a
I
really
love
good
that.
feeling. Overall, very successful event. We were done at 10, out of there, home by 11, and it was a good weekend. So that
Nice.
was, that was
That's
last
cool.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this weekend?
This weekend coming up.
Past weekend.
This past
This
week,
past
yeah.
weekend,
Yeah.
I had a weekend off.
Nice.
I spent
Yeah.
my week at the track and field district championships
That's
out
right.
in the sun, getting sunburnt, and yeah.
Very nice.
But yeah, I didn't have anything going on.
What about you,
Cool.
Victoria?
Cool. I had an event down south,
'Kay.
and then we drove up to Albuquerque on Saturday, and we shot content for Somos, which
Oh,
is really,
that's-
really cool. All the talent that they booked was wonderful down to the local acts.
Heavy local. I feel
Heavy
like
local.
it was
Heavy
maybe
local, but it
3.
was incredible. Like,
Yeah.
so much talent in Albuquerque. Like, if next year, whatever events Somos has coming up, you guys should definitely check it out because it was just really cool. And that's what it's about, right?
Where do they do it?
They did it at the Hispanic Cultural Center.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember
Switch
seeing that.
last year was at Revel.
Exactly.
Which I don't feel like was
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, and what the vision was for this specific one,
Yeah.
it was only right to do it there. They
Yeah.
wanted to bring in a ton of local vendors, a ton of local acts, a ton of local food trucks and this and that, and they really wanted to make it about Albuquerque. So this one was called A Love Letter to Albuquerque.
Mhm.
So it just everything they did it well, and it was
That's
just
good.
really, really cool. And it was just nice seeing people out there enjoying themselves. And they did like a silent disco stage with a bunch of local DJs.
Nice.
Then they had like the main stage where the headliners were, and then they had like I can't remember what they called that stage. They had a stage like where like the vendors were. So, and it was just a
Huh.
lot of cool stuff going on, a lot of art exhibits.
Yeah.
Just it was really,
they did
really
it
cool.
at the Civic Center 2 years ago. and
Yes.
I loved it there.
Yeah.
That's why I felt like it was so weird to do it at Revel.
Yeah.
It seemed like just a concert.
Exactly.
last year, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that
agree
they
with
had
that.
more installations, more activities.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I wanted to do it, but of course, I was DJing a wedding.
Yep.
Story of my life.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was cool.
Yeah, baby.
It's a good problem to
It was
have.
it's a good problem
But
to have.
God
Yes.
bless, it's a problem we were talking about just
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
Like we book out a year in advance, and then these opportunities present themselves 3-4 weeks out, and you're like, no.
Yeah, I can't.
Dude,
Yeah, you can't back out.
We're
of
literally going to a DJ conference, and the only week out of the year that we're going to a conference in Boston, guess who's coming?
311.
Yep.
Oh no, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. That's yep.
dang, Chris. Ooh.
I'm gonna play them all.
Where are they get?
All the loser.
Dang, that's tough.
I
Yeah.
know.
I know. I'm still not over it.
Yeah, and that's me and Tony were kind of talking about that before you came in, just kind of, stepping away from certain things to grow and do, more weddings, more or grand openings, more whatever comes our way, and that's really a hard step to take. It's what I was telling Tony, thinking of what next year's going to look like for me and knowing that I'm going to have to make a hard decision to let go of some things and, let go of, things that I've done for I was telling Tony probably 8 straight years, 9 straight years, the same type of deal. But,
I think this is the problem every entrepreneur goes through.
Trusting
Exactly.
yourself that more business is going to come
Exactly.
without.
yeah, and
having
taking
that, knowing.
on more mature clients,
Yeah.
that was kind of what I was telling Tony was the goal for me, is trying to just get into a space where it feels more mature. I'm working more elegant events. I'm working with, couples that do really wonderful things. And that I think that's just like the next step for me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, and especially when you come from the mindset, which I think all of us start with the mindset of scarcity.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
we
where
want to do everything and anything and
yeah,
we'll take it all. It doesn't matter.
feels like like the phone's not going to ever ring again. So I have
Yes.
to take that event, right?
Exactly.
And that's the way I think all of us are at the beginning. And then when the events start rolling in, and then you get like those you get one, right?
Yep.
That's like the most amazing, perfect client, couple, wedding, whatever it might be. And you're like, it's like a drug, right? You get a taste of that, and like, dang, I need more of that. And
Yeah.
you don't understand maybe how many of those you've been turning away because you had booked all these other different types of events
Yeah.
from before
A year and a half ago.
a year and a half ago, and I
Yeah.
can't now. this amazing event just came up and I can't do it.
Can't do it. Yep,
That's
exactly.
what I was telling Victoria, I'm thinking of like leaving one weekend in May and maybe one in June. Just leave it open, just to see if something comes in, and if something doesn't come in, okay, cool, I got a day off. And
Right.
if not, like, so May 31st, I'm at Marble downtown, and that opportunity didn't present itself until like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And so
The Flix was a week before.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
see, those are nice. It's the Saturdays.
Exactly.
The Saturdays are very limited in our
Yeah.
inventory, and so that's where.
Yeah.
Because you're right. The Thursday gigs, those ones are awesome. They're always
Right.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, I was leaving this one open because we're going to some air show, the air show or something. My buddy had told me, we're all gonna go to the air show.
Over at Kirtland.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
it's like
book
the
May
first time back
31st.
in 6 years or something
Yes,
like
yes. I was like, all right, I'll mark my calendar.
Cool.
And then now I get to go to the air show, and then I'm gonna DJ at Marble downtown
Perfect.
that night, right?
Perfect
So-
day.
And
Perfect
it's
day.
just it's one of those things where you have to trust yourself that
Yeah.
those dates are gonna fill.
Exactly.
It's
And
weird, but trust it, it'll fill.
Definitely. And I feel like this is like the first time I've really had this like urge to just let it go.
Yeah,
Like really for the first time
you've got it.
in
You're
forever,
there
I'm
all
like,
day.
you know what? I'm just going to let go. And I just know so many incredible, better maybe opportunities are really going to come. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just been so slammed and so swamped. I'm like, I just have to at this
Yeah.
point.
And
It's
even
like
if
not
it's
even
like- I feel like even if you were to get maybe a similar gig, but it's in town,
exactly.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're still making the same
Yeah.
money, but you're not having to drive 4
4 hours. Exactly. Yeah, and it's just been so crazy. And another
Hard.
thing I've been trying to get used to too is like couples with this stuff like basically fighting over me for same day, same times and this and that, and that's been really
That's tough.
challenging.
Whoever pays you first.
How many inquiries
Oh
have
my
come in for
goodness.
us where they're like, we want DJ Victoria or Mischievous, right?
Yeah.
And you've had to turn it down. Like
Yeah.
I'm already
It sucks.
So many and
Yeah.
so many clients that I genuinely like want to work with.
Yes.
right.
Like the other day, or it was like maybe like a couple weeks ago, I had two gay couples, on the same day, two different towns, and I basically like put the bug in the air. I was like, hey, like I have two
You
of
just
you.
gotta let them
wanting-
know. It's good for
One of the
you.
couples was like, we're gonna book you now,
Yeah, you
right
create the
now,
urgency.
no waiting, no nothing,
Yep.
and it just is like, whoa, like that's where it's at now. You know, it's
Yeah.
in-
It's a good problem to have.
It
because,
is.
Yeah, what you're doing is you're creating urgency for them.
Exactly.
And making them feel like I need to book her now or I'm not
Not
gonna
gonna-
get her.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's where
Yep.
you want to be.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where you want to be. It's that's the holy grail, right?
Yeah.
Where not only
You're choosing
are
the
you
clients.
wanted and you're choosing right, but honestly, it frees you up to build in your days off. So like what I've gotten to the point is now where I leave 2 weekends open.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Like the
I'm always
summertime?
like so I'm always gonna work at minimum 2.
Yeah.
And so I let those fill first, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter which weekend
Which
it is.
two?
Those 2. Then I leave the other 2 open. I'll at max right now for me, I'm only going to do 3 a month.
Mhm.
If like it has to be a pretty amazing event, like to
Yeah.
come in.
Right.
for
Somebody
me-
books you for a Lux.
And that's what happened. Somebody books for a Lux package, which is our highest, most expensive package.
Turn that down?
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not
You're
going to
like,
turn
"I'll
that
do that."
down.
Yeah.
But I'm leaving the fourth one is off limits. Like
Off
I need at
limits.
least one a recharge week, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, we were talking about that too, setting
Yeah.
aside that time because if you spread yourself so thin,
Yep.
your quality goes down. and-
Exactly.
And, you can't
Right.
deliver. I used that as a selling point for a couple weeks ago where they were like, what makes you different from all these other DJs? And I was like, honestly, there's a lot of good DJs out there who can provide good lights, good music, and MC. But what you're going to get from me is my attention and access to me.
Exactly.
I only take 30 weddings. I'm not taking 70 like these other guys. So if you
Yep.
want a custom mix, you need answers, I can get back to you right away.
Yeah.
And it's not the end of the world for me because I'm not straining myself
Exactly.
so hard.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and by taking
quality over quantity.
Yeah, exactly. And by taking less, you could really tailor yourself to those 30.
Yep.
You could really hone in on what those 30 want
Yeah.
and just absolutely kill it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Go ahead.
Rather than, selling yourself short for 70, 80 a
course.
year and you're exhausted, crawling to the finish line.
Yeah,
Right?
so like I was saying, I don't mind doing a double header, Friday, Saturday, Sunday weddings,
Yeah.
but like this this month, I basically have one wedding every weekend, and it allows me to just lock in for them. I'm not getting caught up on all these different things, mixing up names or anything like that.
Exactly.
Not to say that I would if there was a double header, but like it's
No, but
it's more challenging.
yeah.
Well, and
I got you.
I mean, I know I've done it in the past. You've done it, but like having doubles or triples, and it's exhausting. Like
Friday,
it's hard.
Saturday, Sunday's tough.
Yeah.
It really is. It's tough, and unless you go and come ride with us at an event, like we just told you what it took to do a prom.
Yep.
That's probably the hardest type of event that we'll do and the longest, but like I mean for me on Friday, it's probably one of our easiest, and I'm gonna go and set up at 1:00, be ready for a ceremony at 4, and that kicks off the rest of the day, and I'm done at 10:00,
But
right?
you're at the office at like 11.
But right, I'm at the office at 11, and then I won't.
Tear down 11.
Tear down.
11, that's a
Yeah.
12-hour, 13-hour day.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's a grind.
We did the same thing for the Taos wedding. I DJ'd at a bar the night before, and then my bride expected me to be there at 11:30 to do their rehearsal. They
Right.
wanted to do the rehearsal that day.
Sure.
So we woke up at 7 in the morning, showered, and got on the road. And that's
really
the
cool.
expectation, right? Like that's where we're willing to do things that I know others aren't willing to do, right?
Yeah.
Most DJs would have been like, "Oh, I got an event. We'll get there when we get there."
Sure,
Right? And
yeah,
I'm like, "No, my bride needs me there. She's very particular on what she wants. I'm gonna just, whether I'm exhausted or not, I will be there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gives them that peace of mind,
Exactly.
elevated client experience,
Yep.
all that.
Right.
Nice.
Cool.
So let's see. I had a wedding this past weekend. I was at Hotel Albuquerque. Very fun, easy day. This was a fun couple because I have DJ'd their bridesmaids. 3 of the brides were my past brides.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. All of them were just so fun. And I really enjoyed the overall day. It was a perfect wedding day as far as weather. We were outside in the pavilion. The shade was nice. The sun hit well. It wasn't too hot. The only challenge was the space. The venue had sold the ceremony space, 2 ceremonies in kind of one area. So we had to kind of work around another person's ceremony
That's right.
because our reception space was in their ceremony space. So it was kind of challenging. We had to set up a little bit of pre-setup. We got lucky because they were supposed to start at 2:30, but then they started at 2. So when I heard
a little bit of
when I heard the music go on at 2 and him speaking, I was like, "Oh my
Oh,
god!"
thank God.
I
Yeah.
have all I have to do because the venue they have a ceremony house system, so
Yeah.
we just had to plug in our laptop, make sure the mics were working. Very easy. So I was like, "Okay, I'll go set up that sound. That's running. I've got 25 minutes to do what I
To do
can."
it, yeah.
And so I just, as soon as they were done, I wanted to be as respectful as I could. Didn't want to intrude
Absolutely,
on their
yeah.
ceremony, but 2:30 hit, and I was moving chairs.
but you're like,
rolling it in.
get the heck out.
Get the hell
Move! Get out of here!
yeah.
No. It was good. We got everything set up, and then I had Raven, the assistant, so she was able to set up basically the rest of it during
Nice.
the ceremony at 3:00 while I ran
Awesome.
the audio and
Yeah.
mics, and then the cocktail hour was in kind of a different space. So we presented everything and then built it all behind the scenes, so nobody
cool.
even knew. Like
Yeah.
my biggest concern was having them walk in and us being like, hold on, we're not ready, we're still taping. Watch out for that cord. Like it just doesn't look professional,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure everything was just clean, and at least like when they walked in, music was playing and everything was like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. So it worked out well. We did something really cool that I think if there's couples out there, DJs out there, push this. It's hitting on every level. Grand intro into first dance into an open dance party.
Yeah.
It is big on the East Coast. You only do for maybe 2-3 songs, but this has such high potential for good photo moments. Everybody's still high energy. The vibes are peak vibes right at the end of
Yep.
cocktail hour. And so I really recommend doing a grand intro into first dance into a open dance session just for a few songs to really kickstart your evening and have fun. It was a fun thing that was different. I told
Yeah.
the photographer, we're going to open up this dance floor right after the first dance. And she was like, what? I love that. And so she just got good
Got good stuff,
photos
yeah.
and great lighting because the sun was still up.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of really fun, like hidden gems in that opening up the dance floor. And it's new. It's fresh, you know?
Yeah,
Did you,
no, it looks
question
so
on that.
cool.
Yeah.
Did you have to coordinate that beforehand with going into dinner? Because usually they have got dinner
Yes.
ready at a certain time,
Yeah,
right?
so we had planned all of that. So I had the planning meeting with the bride and groom. They told me their vision, and this space was unique in that you have to bring everybody to a space to watch their first dance.
Yes.
And so since we're doing grand intro into first dance, we can't have them sitting over there and then do the first dance over here.
Yep.
So she's like, can we bring them all? They circle around us. And I was like, yes, of course. And then I had the idea, light bulb, what if we did grand intro? They're already all there. Start an open dance party for just a few. And they're like, we love that idea. And so we talked to the planner, we talked to the staff at the venue, and they all knew dinner drops
Okay,
at
right.
5:30.
So we have to do this grand intro at this time. So we
Yes.
have this
You got to be very
open
punctual.
dance section.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where you really have to stick to those timelines.
Exactly.
I've been chewed out by chefs, food
Yeah.
temperatures. There's a lot of things that go into the food.
Definitely.
So yeah, that was accounted for, and we had
Nice.
thought about it because yeah, all of that is a
Yeah, you
factor.
can't just do that on the fly.
No, you can't
No,
do it on the
Plan for
fly. You
that.
definitely want to plan for it. Let everybody know. And yeah, it worked out really well. Then we just did our dinner, couple speeches. Then we did mother, son, father, daughter into open dance because they had a little mix that I
Yeah.
created for them. And then just open dance till 10 o'clock because we were outside, and it did really well. This was a rare wedding where I was upset that we didn't have more open dance time.
Yeah, I remember. I heard you saying that.
We should have went
Yeah.
till well, we couldn't have, but if we went till 11, no problem at
Yeah.
all. The momentum in that thing was crazy.
was
like
crushing.
right at like 9:58, there were people on shoulders. There
Yeah.
was crazy, and I thought, okay, this is a little unsafe, but it's for 30 seconds, and then we'll chill it out.
Chill it out. Yeah.
But it was quite the moment, and I was like, "This is actually pretty sick." Like, I didn't want to like kill the vibe too bad, but it was fun and a really good time. They had an after party in the other room right next to the fireplace room, and so that was really good.
yeah.
But that's how I knew I knew I should have played "Down" by Jason Derulo and Lil Wayne
Yeah.
because it hit so hard in that other room. I was like, I didn't play that. He gave me 270 songs
Whoa.
for open dance. And they had they talked about it. They were like, we know
You're not gonna hit.
you're
every
not going to
song.
play every single one,
Yeah.
but this is the vibe, and
Yeah.
that was helpful. But it also was it hurt me in a way in that like. If there was only 100 songs and Down was in there, I
Yeah.
would have more likely played it and created some real good
Yep.
momentum. They loved that song in the after party, and I was just kicking myself because I was like, dang it, I had it in my set
Such-
list, but
yeah.
I only
Yeah.
played like 50, 60 songs or so because
Exactly.
it wasn't,
Wasn't
but
that
they
long.
had fun and everybody danced and
looked
ju-
great.
It just wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah,
very
yeah.
very rare
Yep.
because we talk it all day.
Yep.
Shorter than longer, but they were a
Yep.
fun crowd. So, yeah, we were good there. Hotel Albuquerque, good venue, and we crushed it. We were out of there by 10. Raven, she helped us out for the prom, so she was like, "Oh, this is it. This is all we have to do. This is amazing."
We tried telling her
Yeah.
like the prom. This is not normal.
Normal
Like,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
is
she
way
was
harder
great.
than anything. I know. I didn't know if Raven was going to stay with our company after prom.
Oh yeah.
That was her
bet.
first event with us,
Yeah,
and she got broken in pretty. That was
Pretty intense.
yeah,
First
exactly.
round. Yeah.
no. Yeah, she probably went to your wedding and was like, "Oh, I can do this."
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
and
for
she
sure.
lived right next to the venue. so
Right.
she walked.
yeah, she's
like,
down
"I
in
just
Old
walked
Town.
She's
Hell
like, I live
yeah.
right here, so it's perfect. I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I'm
Nice.
at Hotel Chaco, so she's gonna help me again. I was like, "Hey,
Oh yeah,
you
Nice,
wanna help me
that's right.
right next door?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, for sure."
Cool.
nice.
Yeah, so those were my events. Great start to the season. We're crushing it. We're killing it right now. Everything's coming in. More weddings.
Yeah, we're gonna have some more for you. I've got one this Friday. I'm out at Old Town Farm, and I haven't been there in forever, so like a few years. So that'll be
You'll like
Nice.
it. The
That'd be
staff
cool.
there is always super
Yeah.
easy. Load-in is so easy.
right.
Are you taking your video DJ booth? You
Yep.
have to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's
It'll
a
be-
little dirty, but other than that, you'll be
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of have like a ramp when I was there, like before the barn starts, like right where the doors are.
Oh
at.
yeah.
Right.
If
So
you
you
go in
probably
through
will
there,
be able to just back it straight in and just roll
I think
it
that's
out.
what I did
Yeah.
before there because
That's
I've used the
probably
booth there.
the
and-
better way.
Yeah.
'cause you
yeah, I
can
can't
enter
use
through
that
the-
little door on the side.
No, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have to go in through the front with when I do load in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So easy. Yeah. Cool.
cool.
All right. Well, this was more of a week of basically events and topics coming from that.
See, I knew I was like, we got plenty of stuff to talk
yeah.
about. We've been rambling now, I feel like.
Yeah.
How long, what are we at?
We're at, about an hour and almost 10 minutes. So
There we go.
Yeah.
That's a good episode.
Good episode, yeah.
good stuff. All right, you guys. Appreciate you all once again.
Later, yup.
We'll see you.
Later.
What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist?